Bam, bam, bash. Bam, bam, bash. Bam, bam, bash. Imagine you're alone in a dark, foggy forest, and you hear that. Just a slow, guttural chant echoing through the trees. It's a chilling sound that promises one thing, and one thing only: death. Welcome, everyone. I am so incredibly excited to guide you through today's explainer because, wow, this one is a truly spine-tingling narrative.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. We are unraveling a mystery today that perfectly bridges 4 centuries of dark folklore with modern-day ambition. Our focus: the terrifying secret of Brampur. It is this insanely compelling story where ancient, deadly myths crash headfirst into the lives of 2 young scientists in present-day Delhi. Let's unpack exactly what went down in this cursed village, how these wildly different timelines connect, and the supernatural forces at play here.
Part 1: Burampur's Terrifying Past.
What's really fascinating about this is the sheer specificity of the local lore. So 400 years ago, there's this young man named Badan. He's desperate to go out and meet his friends, but his father gives him a very, very dire warning about the Nishi Solo. According to the source texts, the Nishi Solo are 4 terrifying men who roam the area carrying a heavy coffin on their shoulders. They only come out on Saturday nights, and they constantly chant that deadly mantra we just talked about: bum bum bosh. The absolute non-negotiable rule of the village: if you hear their footsteps, hide. Because making eye contact with the Nishi Solo literally guarantees your death. No exceptions.
This right here brilliantly illustrates the anatomy of a horror tragedy. Let's walk through Madan's fatal choices. Step 1. Like a lot of headstrong kids, Madan completely ignores his dad's warning. He insists he's going out on this exact Saturday night. Step 2. He wants to save time, naturally, so he takes a narrow dirt shortcut straight through the dark, fog-choked forest. Step 3. He hears it: heavy footsteps and that sound, bam, bam, bash. Panic sets in, he dives into the bushes to hide and hold his breath, thinking they've passed him by. But then, step 4, the fatal error. He peeks out. He accidentally looks directly at the Nishi Solo. He thinks he's safe, turns around, and boom, there they are, right behind him. And the next morning, the consequences are starkly laid out. When Madan doesn't come home, his father and a local named Vipul head deep into the forest to search for him. They eventually find his lifeless body slumped against a massive banyan tree. Now, what's crucial to note from the source material is the specific state of his body. There are no signs of a struggle at all. Instead, his face is just frozen in a state of absolute, unimaginable terror. Eyes wide open, capturing a horrifying final sight that we can really only guess at. The legend of the Nishi Solo? Yeah, it was violently, undeniably real. So the crazy part is how this ancient horror jumps forward in time. We fast forward from 400 years ago, right at the moment of Madan's death in Burampur, straight into the present day. We meet a young woman named Meghna. She wakes up at 9 a.m. in her very modern Delhi apartment, totally drenched in sweat from a terrifying, vividly realistic nightmare. It's a huge shift in setting, right? But as we're about to see, the distance between the bustling streets of Delhi and the cursed village of Burampur is actually much, much shorter than it appears. Part 2, the secret of Mrityunjay Amrit. Let's break down the driving force for our modern protagonists here. Meghna and her roommate Ishita are researchers in a Delhi lab, and they are under massive, crushing pressure from their demanding supervisor, Professor Jaidev. They need to finalize an antidote project, and they are severely behind schedule. Desperate for any kind of breakthrough, Ishita actually turns to some pretty unorthodox methods. She digs up this ancient book of folklore, hoping to find some undiscovered biological compounds hidden inside old myths. And in this book, she finds a reference to something called Mrityunjay Amrit. Translated, that means the elixir of immortality. It's an ancient, mysterious liquid that supposedly possesses miraculous, life-saving properties. Now, this is where the puzzle pieces really snap together. On one hand, you have the wild details of Meghna's recurring nightmare. She's alone in a foggy forest, being hunted by a giant, terrifying bird. She's running, she crashes into a tree, and she notices glowing green water dripping from its branches. Okay, hold that thought. Because on the other hand, the ancient lore from Ishita's book specifically describes the Mrityunjay Amrit as a green liquid that drips from a very specific, magical tree, but only on full moon nights. And this, right here, is the hook of our entire mystery. The illustration of the tree and that ancient folklore book, it is an exact, perfect match to the tree from Meghna's nightmare. The same twisted branches, the exact same dripping green liquid. Meghna is, understandably, completely shocked. This eerie coincidence is the catalyst for everything that follows. I mean, despite her initial skepticism, the chance to find a miraculous antidote and maybe figure out why on earth she's dreaming of a place she's never even been to, well, it prompts the girls to pack their bags. They immediately travel to the village mentioned in the book, Berhampur.
Part 3. Return to Berhampur.
As you might guess, the village does not exactly roll out the red carpet for them. Let's walk through this seriously chilling welcome. Step 1. The literal second Meghna and Ishita step through the village gates, the bright, sunny weather just vanishes. A sudden violent storm sweeps in out of nowhere and thick clouds completely block the sun. It's a super aggressive shift in the atmosphere. Now the girls are taken in by the village head, the Mukhya, who kindly offers them a place to stay, but get a load of steps 2 and 3. First, the sacred lamp burning in the Mukhya's house inexplicably blows out right as they walk in, and at that exact same moment, the eternal lamp in the village temple, which is totally protected from the wind, by the way, extinguishes right in the middle of the priest's prayers. These are definitely not just weird weather anomalies. The village priest, whose lamp just mysteriously died, looks up at the dark sky, and he doesn't just see storm clouds. He sees a dark, swirling, malignant energy gathering right over Berhampur. He instantly realizes what's happening. These are terrifying omens. The arrival of these two city girls has disturbed something ancient, something that had been asleep for a very, very long time.
Part 4. The 400-year-old Raj Mahal.
Okay, so let's look at their strategy here. The girls are smart. They know they can't just casually stroll into town and start asking about immortality potions. So they set up a cover story. They lie to the Mukhya, telling him they're university students doing an academic research project on 5 local villages. Using this cover, they actually convince the Mukhya's son, Anuj, to be their local guide. They set up a midnight investigation, sneaking out at 12 a.m. when the entire village is dead asleep. Their primary target? King Surjban's 400-year-old palace, known as the Raj Mahal. Their secret plan is to use exploring the palace as a stepping stone. They figure they'll build some trust with Anuj tonight and then casually ask him about the forest and the elixir tree the next day.
But of course, things take an unsettling turn almost immediately at the palace. As they're sneaking through the jammed-shut windows of this ancient, decaying structure, Meghna looks at the architecture and says, "It feels like I've seen this palace somewhere before." The implication there is just staggering. Think about it. Meghna has lived in a modern city her entire life. She's never set foot in Berhampur, yet she is experiencing this intense, unnatural feeling of déjà vu inside these 400-year-old ruins. Her connection to this village obviously goes way deeper than just a shared image of a tree in a textbook.
Part 5. The Terror of Nishi Solo. The source material masterfully builds tension here by alternating between 2 terrifying situations happening at the exact same time. Inside the pitch-black palace, Meghna, Ishita, and Anuj completely freeze. They suddenly hear the distinct, heavy sound of booted footsteps echoing down the empty corridor. It sounds exactly like a soldier pacing, but when they look, there's absolutely no one there. The footsteps are totally invisible. Meanwhile, out on the edge of the dark forest, 2 local men, Sampat and Kapta, are out late playing cards. Through the violent swirling storm, the wind suddenly dies down, and they are confronted by 4 pairs of glowing red eyes staring right at them from the darkness. And then the ultimate terror strikes. Out of the darkness of the forest, that dread-inducing sound returns. Bam, bam, bash, bam, bam, bash. The 4 figures step forward. It is the Nishi Solo. They're carrying their coffin exactly as they did 400 years ago. They stop right in front of the terrified gamblers, and then the heavy lid of the ancient coffin they're carrying slowly begins to creak open right in front of Sampat and Kapala. Now, whatever actually came out of that coffin is left entirely to our dark imagination, but the result is definitely not. A horrifying, blood-curdling scream rips through the night air. It's so loud that it wakes literally everyone in Berhampur. Back in the village, the panicked priest hears the scream and comes to a bone-chilling realization. He runs to the Mukhya and delivers the dreadful news. The Nishi Solo have awakened from their centuries-long slumber. The ancient curse is active once again, and absolutely no one in the village is safe. Which leaves us staring at some massive, unanswered questions. Who or what exactly are the Nishi Solo? And what in the world is inside that coffin? What is the true nature of the Mrityunjay Amrit? Is it actually a miracle cure, or is it a cursed substance that shouldn't be touched by human hands? And perhaps the most mind-bending question of all,
What is Meghna's true connection to this 400-year-old horror? How does a modern scientist hold the memories of an ancient, cursed palace? It is a fantastic mystery that brilliantly weaves folklore and modern suspense, and I really hope this explainer helped you visualize just how terrifying this source material actually is. Until next time, keep your curiosity sharp and, whatever you do, seriously stay out of the woods on a Saturday night.